So, my name is Faizan. I'm from Hyderabad. So recently, I am a 2019 graduate in aerospace engineering. So once after, after I graduated, I was looking for jobs, and I even tried for GATE. I gave GATE, and then I couldn't qualify that, but then again, COVID happened. So I joined Amazon as a risk investigator. So it's quite a different path because graduating from aerospace and joining in IT.
Right,
So
right, right.
um,
Everybody does that, isn't it, in India?
yeah, everybody does that. So even I was one of them then.
So what
So
happens? Everybody does it, and then after 2 years they leave it.
they leave it. Yeah, yeah. Because even I have stories. Many of my colleagues in Amazon, they've done that. Yeah, like one of my friend who is in US now. He worked for almost 2 years and he left the company for
Right, right.
graduation. Yeah.
Because they
So
always look for that passion they lost,
yeah.
which is
And
good
then
actually. I mean, there is nothing wrong with
yeah. No, it's good as well because these companies like Amazon or in operations, if you see, that gives us to improve ourselves because many of the students, like once they graduate, they lack many skills as well, in corporate life, like how to be like how to excel in that as well,
it. Right, right.
so yeah, to improve their English as well sometimes, because that's the reason even I joined,
Uh-huh.
because I'll be getting some exposure to many people like who speak with us. So that gives us that adds us to that communication thing as well. So
Oh, it
that builds up that.
does it help?
It- yeah, sometimes
Okay.
but in India, especially when you are on some international projects like in Amazon, like if we deal with if our stakeholders are
International clients. Right,
international clients, yeah.
right.
So that helps. That helps. So I've been working in Amazon for almost like 2 years now. Then yeah, I've been applying for universities for the last 2 years, and I've got an admit from into both like Arizona State University and Florida Tech. So I didn't apply many universities, and I was going through a consultancy service, and I applied for ASU and Florida Tech, got admitted into both, and now
You
I
you
am
are
also
you got admitted into a master's or PhD program.
masters.
Or okay, got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So now I was just doing some research, and my interest specifically is on because it's been too long after I did my graduation in 2019, and then now again joining doing graduation, like going
You,
for
you
masters,
did you did your graduation or undergrad?
undergrad. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and it was in aerospace, BTech in aerospace engineering from tier 2 institutions here in Telangana.
Okay.
But I have a good GPA, like my GPA is 8.7.
Okay.
Uh, and I don't have any research papers or any internship related to the core domain like aerospace. But I have some work experience in Amazon
So your
and
undergrad was in what department?
aerospace engineering.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. I didn't have your CV, so I go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot to add that. I
Yeah,
just
that's fine.
drafted that mail just today.
No, no, that's
I was
fine.
just watching your. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. So now my question is like how do I choose this university? Like, because I am also planning to apply for Wichita State University and also Embry-Riddle University. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and my funding is from loan. I am thinking of applying for a loan, education loan, and some of my funding could also be from my father. Like he'll be helping me with that, and
So let me ask you,
hmm,
if taking loan is difficult for you or your family, you're coming from a wealthy family and it's fine.
no, it's fine for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So like I've been doing some research on like the universities that I've applied to and I will be applying to. So I mean, I when I searched for ASU, I mean, it's more of research oriented institute, and I've checked their graduate programs in aerospace, and
Okay, let's
I've seen.
Faizan,
Hmm,
I think I got
sure,
your
sure.
point. I want to
Yeah.
ask a couple of questions now to dissect your problem. What is your plan after you finish your master's? Very specific, tell me, what do you want to do after master's?
Yes, I want to do a job in either US or India when I come back.
Again, what do you want to do after master's? A job could be, and the job is Amazon also, right?
No, job in aerospace.
Okay. Where?
Yeah, in US or India, because these US companies, they are also setting up plants and they are also investing in India as well. So we have opportunities in India as well from the same companies.
So let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
Why you are coming to do PhD masters in US then? Why not masters in IC or IIT?
Yeah, so I tried gate exam and I've written,
Okay.
and
It's a tough exam. It's sometimes it's easier to get in here versus
y-
getting into those programs.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so I will tell you a couple of things. So the degree that you're gonna have, aerospace engineering degree in US,
Hmm.
not going to give you a degree in any aerospace companies in US
Yeah.
because you are an international student.
Okay.
Aerospace companies do not hire international students
International
or
students. Yep.
no matter what.
Okay.
That's clean and clear. Now you make your decision whether based on this information what decision you want to take, because let me tell you, lot of time it happens that people who have degree in aerospace, they have, particularly those students, they struggle a lot if they are looking for a job in US. And it's very true.
Okay.
Okay. And no will sponsor your visa, no will sponsor, it's you're not going to get in. The only reason I work for Lockheed is because I'm a US citizen, I'm not an Indian citizen. And until I was an Indian citizen, I was not supposed to work in defense companies. Got my point?
Okay. Yeah.
So the only option for you, if you want to work in an aerospace sector, would be to come back to India. And as you mentioned very rightly, work for those companies, whether it's Lockheed Tata, whether it's Raytheon, Colin Aerospace in India, or Boeing Tata, all the venture that are being started now, right? That's the only thing that if you were working for aerospace company, otherwise you will end up working into one of those companies that you are working right now.
Okay. Yeah, but I also tried in those companies, Boeing and Airbus. I've applied, I've sent my resume, but
Where?
I in Collins Aerospace
Where? Okay, apply
in
where?
India,
Mhm. Okay.
in Hyderabad. Like we
Yeah,
have.
but what I'm saying is you didn't understand my point.
Hmm,
I'm not talking about whether you apply and you get a job. I'm talking about eligibility. You're not even eligible. Forget about applying. You will not
okay.
be eligible to apply because it will be mentioned very clearly that only US citizens will apply or should apply. That's my point. If you're working in India, you can at least apply. And then if you have all the right ingredients in your CV, you maybe end up a job. That's a
But
right.
then again, having a aerospace degrees from US, won't that help? Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think there is a bias, to be honest with you. I personally don't think there is a bias. Oh, this guy's coming from US, because all the people, all the managers over there that you are working with are Indian. They are not US citizens. At a
Okay.
very advanced level, at a very high level. I mean, I can tell you the Lockheed CEO of India is a American citizen. He's a US citizen. He's American. But below that, everybody is Indian. And if even though if they are Indian, below that, let's say he's a CEO, right? So below that, you will have VPs. They might be Indian, just like me. They look like Indian, but they are not Indian. They are US citizens.
Okay.
You understand my point?
Yeah.
So For you to think that will that bring an advantage, I personally don't think so. And also that you have to understand one more thing. If so, as I said to you, you have to rule out whether you can work in US until you become a US citizen. So let's say, for example, you come to US, you marry a US citizen girl, and you become a US citizen. Yeah, that can pan out, right? But again, what are the chances? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But to come to India and say, I want to get a job in India because I have a US degree, I personally don't think that that will be that give you an edge. Okay, saying that, oh, this guy has a degree from here, let's take him. Number one. Number two, because if you're graduating from masters in aerospace from ISC, I personally think that is more valued. I mean, where
Okay.
those 50 students is going to go? The whole idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat is not giving jobs to people who are coming from US. It's from people who are
And yeah,
graduating from India and giving jobs, right?
yeah.
So just think, and then also you have to understand what type of jobs are those. So most of these jobs are not, in my personal opinion, are not high high end R&D jobs. They are manufacturing,
Okay.
right? So you make sure that whatever you are learning has to have that skill set. See, let me tell you one thing. Throwing a money, getting a degree is one of the easiest thing anybody can do these days. It's a very easy thing. These schools are business. They get money, you get a degree. Once you get a degree, you are on your own. That's what it is. That's what it is. And that's why, and there's nothing wrong in it, because that's why a lot of students from India or from everywhere, they come here, unless until they are very focused on, oh, I have to do research and I have to make a change to the world. There's one theory is, you go to a master's. I mean, these days they are offering 1 year master's degree. And then these students, they take a loan of 90,000, they get a master's of 1 year, and they start working in a Walmart. They earn 120K, and in 2 years they give their loan back, and then they are fine. You know what I mean? And there is
Yeah.
nothing wrong in it. That's also a good way to make your standard of living higher, and that's why a lot of people come here too. But if your goals are very specific, as you said, I personally think that's they're not going to fulfill this. What you're thinking and what you want. I don't think there's a match.
Okay. So like, um, what change should I make to,
But as I said, what's your goal is, what you want to do. If your goal is, as I said, if your goal is, I want to come to US and I work in US, fine.
Mm,
What you're doing is absolutely fine. But if your target goal is, I want to come to US, and as I said, I'm not saying that you are not a good student or anything like that, but this is the nature of this particular sector. I,
yeah.
I I will not say that thing. So, for example, if you have a degree in automotive engineering and you said, "Hey, Amit, I want to come and work for Tesla," I would say, "Yeah, you can. There is no problem." Because Tesla is not a defense company. It hires a lot of international students. It does a lot of good things. A good company, but you can't work for SpaceX. That's for sure. It's the same, owned by same guy, but you can't work for
Yeah.
SpaceX because it's a totally different beast. They will require you to have a green card minimum. You understand my point?
Yeah. We have that ITA rules coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have spoken to a lot of students during COVID. There was one girl I spoke to. She was from Pune. She graduated from Wichita State actually.
Okay.
She had aerospace, and I think I had a video of that girl and somewhere there. And she was talking about all passion, how passionate she is, and she graduated and she started working for a very small startup who was making some kind of a parachute company. That's a close to aerospace you can get probably. But as I said, they were not sponsoring her H1 visa. She lost the job. And right now she works for Tesla actually. But she has a degree in aerospace. And she talked a lot about how passionate she is about aerospace. But that's the reality.
Okay. Then okay. So now like if I wanted to work in US, then probably the best way would be to my switch from my careers, I believe, right? So instead of aerospace, I should more focus on either mechanical or automobile, because the domains are almost similar, because we have structures over there, we have propulsion, like almost similar, right?
One of the degree I encourage everyone to do it is, no matter what, material engineering, material science. It's a very versatile
Okay.
degree. It's a very versatile degree. A material engineer is can work anywhere. You need materials for everything. A material engineering degree is extremely versatile. It's the one of the most sought out degree, very demand, no matter what sector you go. Aerospace, automotive, um, commercial estate, whatever. Material engineering is very sought out degree. You will find people who have material engineering down working for Pepsi. You'll find people who are material working for space, automotive, you name it, tire,
Mhm.
right? Michelin, Bridgestone, all those big companies, right? Tire companies, Goodyear. Yeah. Material engineering degree is extremely sought out degree. And I encourage everyone to, because, if you look at material engineering, if you look at 30 years back, a lot of departments used to have, in US also, by the way, India is still the same, but in US used to have a department called mechanical engineering, metallurgy, and now
Yeah.
there is only one department, material science and engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a reason behind it, and it's, as I said, very well sought out degree, and it's a very the material excuse me, science and engineering has a very broad field also. It has, it depends on what you want to do, what type of material you are interested in. So for example, I was interested in high temperature materials. That was my thrust area to work on. That I still work on. That's why I work for a space company, because you need high temperature material, right? So that people,
Yeah.
astronauts, can come safely. And that's how it is. So just think about what I just said to you.
Okay, so like after graduate, like if I plan to do PhD, so will my chances increase in that case?
You have to be a US citizen. Very simple.
Mhm. Okay.
As simple as that. If you are not a US citizen, nothing will happen. If you have an undergraduate degree, you are a US citizen, you can do whatever you want. If you have a PhD, but you are still not a US citizen, nothing will happen. The PhD will help you to get US citizenship. That's the question. But masters, very rare. Not very rare, very difficult. But a PhD will help you to get into a US citizenship path. There's a step process, right? So, master student applying for a green card is, I don't know, 20 years to 50 years. A PhD student is somewhere from 2 years, 1 year, if you're extremely good, 6 months, to 5 years. That's what I
Okay.
mean. And once you get a green card, you wait another 5 years, you get a citizenship. And that's what I did. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's going to work. But then you will be, by the time, just add up your what your age is, 6 year of 2 years masters, 5 years PhD, 10 years until you get a citizenship, you will be 45. Do the math. Not many people do that. So 45, I'm not discouraging you. This is the fact. Fact are, you should know the fact, and then you can make your decision. But as I said to you, to your previous question, right?
Mm.
if you are if you are if you get an aerospace degree or getting a job, and you will find all the students nearby who are American citizens, they are getting internships and you are not.
Okay.
Yeah. So set a goal first. What's the goal is? So, if within we talked in last 20 minutes, your goal has changed from getting a job to getting a PhD. So fix your goal.
Okay. And I was just just thinking, like if that would help.
What?
Yeah, like getting PhD as well, because
Yeah, yeah. But
we
yeah,
huh.
you're right. But what I'm saying is, like, let me tell you one more thing. And think about that a little bit more. Getting a master's is easier than getting a undergrad.
Okay.
because it's 2 years, no commitment.
Mm.
But PhD is a totally different beast. You have heard stories, horrible stories about what happens in a PhD. My point here is think before you do a PhD. Anybody who is interested in to do PhD should not do because you will get a citizenship. You should only do because you are passionate about learning something. Are you passionate about? No, don't do that. You will do injustice to yourself. You will do injustice to your degree, and most likely, what will happen? You will end up frustrated. It's not easy. In masters, they say, even let's say there are masters in US now where you don't have to do a thesis. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to get it because it's 2 years, not even 4,
Yeah.
right? But a PhD, so master's student, one of the professor was telling me, master's is something like somebody did an experiment and you repeat that experiment, you get a master's degree. But PhD, you have to do something new. And if you end up with a professor who is awesome, awesome, you will have a fun of lifetime. I can tell you a lot of good stories about that, but the only reason I can talk about myself. The only reason that I did PhD because I wanted to do PhD. I was interested in research at that time. And that kept me going. I was not even a single day I regret I why did I do PhD because I loved it at that moment. Right now, if you ask me whether it was a good investment, my answer would be different. But at that time, that what kept me going. I loved it. I enjoyed it every day. I used to go labs, do experiments. You know what I mean? You have to enjoy
Yeah.
that. I was enjoying US while I was working. We had friends, and it was one of the best time. That's how it has to be because in PhD you have your highs and you have your lows, and lows are gonna go really deep. So you have to have something to look forward, and if you're not passionate, no. So don't just say I want to do PhD. And as I said to you, many people do PhD like they say in India or somewhere else where they say, "Kuch nahi kiya to PhD kar lo." You know what I mean? But do you want to one of those people? It will be waste of 5 years. 5 years. I mean, the reason why I'm saying a waste of 5 years. Let's say if you're making 20 lakhs, 20 lakh multiplied by 5, that money is gone.
Yeah.
Plus the debt you own, and plus the uncertainty. I mean, just make a wise decision. That's what I'm saying. It has to come within. If you feel that you are passionate, you want to do something, go for it, man. Good for you. But if you're not, PhD is a waste of. PhD is very overrated degree. PhD doesn't guarantee you a job. PhD doesn't guarantee you that you're gonna earn more. I have friends who have undergrads from IIT where I graduate, and they make hell lot of money. They own companies. PhD is nothing. PhD is all about it's that's what I'm saying. Degree has no value. I mean, if you look at these days, I mean, you have TikTokers and YouTubers, high school graduate, they probably make much more money. That's my point. The passion to something. So you have to be passionate about thing. And if you are passionate, you will do well no matter what. As you that's why I'm saying the reason you are looking to go out from this where you are is because you're passionate about something else. That's a good news. At least you figured it out. But then comes the rest of the part. It's not just that particular chapter. There are a lot of other chapters before it becomes a success story. And my job is to tell you, okay, this is the reality. So that
Yeah.
I don't want you to say, oh, I come here and what the hell? Somebody would have told me. And because this is exactly what happens when I talk to someone who says, I graduated, what should I do? I said, I wish I would have spoken to you 2 years back. And you will find a lot of students whom I talk and in the YouTube channel. There are tons of stories like that. But what I'm saying is, if you are coming here with a well-informed decision, then it's fine because you know the risk you're gonna carry. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me. What else, Farjan? How can I help you? And my idea is not to discourage you. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure, as I said to you, passion is one thing that I always look for anyone, and you have the passion. Figure it out. See, one thing I have to. There was a cartoon I watched where there was a guy who was mining something, and there were a diamond behind it, and he was mining. And then there was a guy, he was mining on the other side of it. Both are working hard. Direction is important. Right, so you
Yeah.
have to work in a right direction, and my job is to tell you, to show you the direction, and then you can figure it out. Make that right decision is yours, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you do that. uh, I don't know if you get a degree from whatever university you are going to come, and you again end up working for Amazon. How would you feel? At that, I don't know. But definitely one thing for sure, a lot of people do that. And part of the reason is because, let's say, if you're earning hypothetically 20 lakhs in India, it will translate into 90 lakhs in US. That's not bad. And there is nothing wrong in it. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Yep. But definitely it will not be in aerospace. Okay. What else? What other questions you have?
Yeah, I mean, that was it. I mean the universities, but yeah, I mean you've told me like what the current scenario over there is, like what the truth. I mean, what's happening now currently. So yeah, I mean I'll give myself a thought, like what to do next, because you know at last, because now if I go and then 2 years later if I suffer, then it's better that I realize it now.
I told you the reality. You have,
Yeah.
trust me, if I wish somebody would have spoken to me just like I'm speaking to you, I would have made much better decisions. But I probably would
Okay.
have not listened because as I said, I was passionate. I knew what I was doing, want to do. So many times you find students who are like, no, I really am passionate. Do it. Go. Who am I to say don't do it? Right?
Yeah. Sure. I'll The reason why I was thinking of doing MS again from US is, if you see now, like in India, we are having, I mean, we are getting a lot of aerospace companies, like many startups as well. So if I get that
I
exposure, like,
I told you already the reason.
yeah.
I personally don't think that is true. I that is one thing I'm struggling to find the answer, but my gut feeling, that's my gut feeling. That's not the data I'm talking. But if I was you, what I will do is I would like to figure it out, who people who are working through LinkedIn or someone, and let me see what the LinkedIn profile says. How many are there from US or how many are there from India? Do a simple research and you will find what I'm saying is correct.
Okay.
One thing I will also tell you, a lot of students who come to US with a loan, they end up actually not going back because they have to pay their loan. You have to also understand that. So it's nobody comes to US saying that I want to go back to India and do it, because they have to pay their loan. So by the time they end up paying their loan, they are so well versed already, whatever they do. That's what happens, especially with masters.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Farzan, I have to talk to someone else also, but it was nice talking to you, and I hope it helps you. I think your direction is right. You have passion and everything. Keep that in mind. That's important. Figure
Sure.
it out. What's the right thing to do? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Talk to you soon, man, and keep in touch.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.